Episode of Rise of the Modern Moguls, the podcast where we are redefining entrepreneurship in the digital age. And today I've got somebody who's she's not a stranger to the digital space and, doing business online and being visible. I've got Nkosazana with me here. She's known for leveling up and helping women level up. So Nkosazana, welcome and thank you so much for being here with us on this Freedom Day. That's when we're shooting and we're here to talk about financial freedom and, how you found your feet in this world of being an entrepreneur. So welcome, Nkosazana.
Thanks for having me, though I did invite myself.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for coming. And yes, she did invite herself. And I said to her, that's the audacity to ask, because ask and you shall receive. So you asked and, we spoke and here we are, we're making it happen. So I think that's a testimony also to the spirit of entrepreneurship, not waiting for opportunities to come, knocking on the door. And you can either only get a yes or a no.
That's it.
Exactly. And we got a yes. So you are here, Nkosazana, perhaps to our audience, those who have not maybe, heard of you or seen you online. Who are you? Where you from? And then we'll get into the story of how, you've traveled in this life journey to get to where you are now.
Okay, I'm Nkosazana. I'm a 36-year-old entrepreneur. I'm a mother of two, a single mom. It's very important for me to say this because I believe that my message goes out a lot to single mothers for them to know that you can rise above anything. So it's important for me to say this part. I am from Randfontein. I don't come from a wealthy background. My mom is just a mom like any other mom. My grandmother is just a grandmother like any other grandmother. But I chose a different path for myself, my children, my nieces, my siblings. So that's why I'm here today.
Yes, and that path has led you to us here. So growing up in Randfontein, when you were young, you say you didn't come from a wealthy background. What were your surroundings like? And when you were growing up, obviously you wanted great for yourself. I can tell already that was something that was innate. What informed that? And also, what did you see yourself doing when you grew up? Sometimes you're like, okay, I want the best. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a lawyer, all these great things. What was it that you saw? And what was the journey that now, life happens and you end up where you end up?
For me, I've always loved beauty, okay? So even when I was in college, I was modeling. I was Miss Rosebank College. I thought I'm going to be a modeler. But I think after I got born again, I lost that interest and I don't know why.
Okay.
Because that should not have went away only because I am now born again. And to be honest, I did not have a lot of people that I looked at and I felt like, oh my God, like in my immediate circle. But I knew that when I was at church, I would see Bomamu Rutine and I thought, like that's the first thing that I saw as in like a step up.
Yes.
I felt like, I'm going to be a pastor's wife. I think I just loved beauty, being seen. And I want to... People feel like the desire to be seen is wrong. As women, we are taught, even in the church, Paul says, be quiet. So we grow up as women being shut up, like be quiet. But something in me always wanted to be seen. And I do not think there's anything wrong with people wanting to be out there, So my dad wanted me to be an engineer, which is one of the things that led to us having such a sour relationship. I grew up being a daddy's girl. And when I fell pregnant at 22, it took a sharp curve, a very bad one. So after that, I think I always had the desire to prove to my dad that I'm going to make it without you. Because you are mad at me. You don't want to... when your dad loves you so much and they have high hopes for you and you end up disappointing them. But that does not have to be the end of the road. So a lot of people, anytime we encounter a challenge, we build in that challenge. We, you know, our whole future, we live in that pit. My dad, because he was in the mining space, he wanted me to be an engineer. But with me, because I've always loved beauty, like I said, I was modeling. At some point, I was Miss Rosebank College. I knew that I would do something where I would be seen, maybe an actor or continue in my modeling career. But I stopped modeling after I got saved, and I was like, man, it's okay. And as well, how I managed to pick myself up after that disappointment was that I got saved, right? So I've always been going to church. I was in the Seventh-day Adventist, but someone one day invited me to kereke ya bazalwane, you know, and I believe since that day something was planted in me. I've always known that you are gonna make it in life. I was not sure what, but I knew that there is something in me that is going to be great one day, and that's why I am pursuing it.
Yeah. And maybe let's talk about disappointment, because sometimes people think you have to be perfect in order for life, to work out. People are sitting at home. Maybe maybe they failed at school, or maybe, like what you said, maybe they had children young or whatever it might be. Talk about that journey from, being the daughter at home that's being doted on, and then, you have, you have a child, and at a young age, not too young, but, at 22, what was that mental space like for yourself as a young mom to think, okay, now I have to be responsible for this life. I've got my family who had these expectations, but birth is a new renewal. It's not the end. It's actually the beginning of something. How was that for you?
It was hard because I'm a firstborn to my parents, and I'm the first great grandchild that my grandmother had. A lot of people in my family, I think that's why I am also like this. I'm very confident. It's not easy to drag me or push me down. I think also because of the confidence that my family had in me. And when that happened, especially outside wedlock, I felt like I had disappointed them, but I knew that I'm going to get back up. My message, if you go through any of my social media, I am a big restoration preacher. I do not care where you are in your life. I don't care what you've done. There is always a space for you to rebuild. I will never look down on any person or look at someone and feel like it is finished. If God could give me a second chance, I believe that any woman out there will definitely get a second chance. It's a mind thing. Like I said, a lot of people build houses in their disappointment. David says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow, people build in the valley. They sit in the valley. The valley is not your destiny. You are passing through, and you have to tell yourself that I am passing through this valley. This is not my home. I always say to ladies, please don't start a business in the valley. Don't marry in the valley. Don't make permanent decisions in the valley, because once you heal, the people you've bonded with in the valley are gonna think that you have changed.
Yeah.
When you are in the valley, focus on healing yourself, because once you heal, even those you matched with, they will see that you are not a valley person.
Yeah.
And a lot of people even marry in the valley.
Yeah.
And when they heal, you're like, dude, you are not my...
Yeah, like you're not part of my destiny. You were somebody for the valley, not somebody for the destination. Exactly. That makes so much sense. And that's a powerful message, because, even if we look at other parts of life, even business, financial, because the financial part of life, which is like your whole life, was it Zig Ziglar who said, money's right up there with oxygen. Like without it, we cannot live. Like there's no life when there is no money.
The Bible says money answereth
all things, not some,
Yeah.
not half, not maybe, but it answereth all things. And so let's talk about, once you now have this responsibility, how does then your career, getting into the working world, becoming somebody who's earning an income, where did you start?
Okay, I studied public relations, but I've never in a day worked in that field. You won't believe I started working at Ponds. At some point, Ponds had these ladies who used to wear grey dresses by Foschini, Clicks, whatever.
Yes.
I worked there. And then from there, I looked for a job at a dealership. And funny enough, the day I went to look for a job at the dealership, I had no experience in cars and whatever. But that guy decided to give me a chance.
Wow.
His name is Sydney. Sydney Jenna Boy. He gave me a chance. He said to me, "There's something about you that I like, and I am willing to give you a chance." And the day I started, there was this competition. I don't know, it was Big Brother. There was this Zulu couple who had just gotten, I think it was R1,000,000 then. And they came to the dealership the same day I started working.
Wow.
They bought a car cash. And for me, anytime I feel like I cannot do anything, I remind myself of that day that remember, you got a job at the dealership, you knew nothing about cars. On your first day, you sold a car cash. So you can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing story. What drove you to go to a dealership out of all places, from Pons working in skincare, and now you're like, I want to go sell cars?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think I saw these ladies by the dealerships. They looked good, okay? And I felt like I can do this, you know. I don't know much about it, but I feel like I can do it. And to be honest with you, I later became one of the best salespeople in cars.
Okay.
Yeah, in the sales space. Even if you search TikTok, you search like advice for buying a car, my videos pop up. First time car buyers, my videos pop up because I told myself that I will learn. A lot of people want things, but they are not willing to put in the effort. I stayed on YouTube. I learned about cars. I learned how can I be the best salesperson. I learned about cars because that's a male-dominated industry.
Yes.
And I wanted to stand out. And I knew that I will not stand out unless I am knowledgeable about this. You know, yeah.
And you feel that that is something that that rings true for any industry, that knowledge of your industry allows you to stand out.
That's it.
So education, because sometimes when you talk about education, people think we mean a book behind a desk, you know, go write a test at the end of it. But education, self-education, because that's what you took on. You took on educating yourself
Self-help.
about this industry of cars and sales and all of that, and that then allowed you to become the top in your industry. So would you agree that being open to learning can open up doors that otherwise can give you control over where you land in your industry?
That's very true. You know, we sometimes look at these. There's a book that I read, Why Pretty Girls Get the Corner Office, something like that.
Okay.
And I learned from that book that you have to put yourself forward.
Yeah.
No one is coming to push you.
Yes.
So whether you get a job as a cashier, you can be the best cashier. You can be noticeable. You can go above and beyond. So a lot of people will always give the bare minimum. So if your job says, you're a cashier, you end there. You can add something, look the part, smile more, be the most recommendable. Make sure that people do not forget you.
Yeah.
Do not blend in. But what people do not want is the work.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us want so many things. Someone can come to me and they normally ask me, Nkosazana, I want to be the best in car sales. Please give me some advice. And I say to someone, post 4 times a day. They're like, yo. You see, we
Yes.
want the results, but we don't want to put in the work.
Yeah. Yeah. And in your car journey, what was it that you learned about finance? Because a lot of people also, especially us, black people, and now, young people start making money, but what they know is how to earn. I've got my career, I'm earning in my job, I've got this paycheck, but we know very little about financial matters. Our financial IQ is like almost zero. Like we've got the money, but the management, what goes into your credit score, all of that stuff. How important is it for us to take that seriously and to learn about it? And what pointers could you give entrepreneurs, people maybe who even are in careers, about creating a good credit profile and running their finances in a specific way to open up other doors for them?
Okay, here's one thing I have learned while being in a dealership, right? A lot of people buy the first wrong car. And once you buy wrong the first time, it affects you for the longest time, because now, even when you try and trade in that car in a space of a year or 2, that's a more debt that you carry on, because now the shortfall that you had from the wrong car that you bought gets added to your second car. So I always say to my clients, buy right the first time. And by buying right, I always say to them, your first car does not have to be your dream car. people buy their dream car as their first car. And when they buy that first car, at that point, they have no children. They're still staying at home. They can afford it. But now you realize that, okay, I'm staying in Soweto. I'm working in Sandton. I bought a car. It's too far for me. Let me look for a place that's closer to work. And when you were at Soweto, you didn't have the expenses. And now you have the car installment, the insurance, the fuel, the rent, the electricity. Now you go back to your salesperson 6 months, a year later. I don't afford the car. When your salespeople tell you, buy a smaller car, I normally say to people, if your car is more than a quarter of your salary, you do not afford it. It's too much for you. Because with a car, it's not just about the installment. What our clients look at is the installment that they can afford at that time. They do not look at the total cost of the car, insurance, fuel, maintenance. There's so many unexpected expenses that come with owning a car. But because of this social media age where everyone wants to look cool, we end up buying cars that we do not afford.
Yes.
I had a lot of clients that I would try and talk out of buying a specific car that they wanted, and they'll be like, no, I want this car. You know what? I grew up poor. So, You know, we always make these emotional excuses to justify why we are buying things that we do not afford.
Yeah.
A lot of people are in debt. I have first-hand experience. I would look at someone's statement and be like, what are you gonna eat? You know, I've had a lady who came and said, I just went through a divorce and my husband bought a car for his girlfriend. So I want to buy.
The
You know,
pressure.
I said to her, sis, don't do this. She said, you don't understand. I have to.
Hey, that pain runs deep. She's making decisions in the valley.
Yes, making a decision in the valley.
Yeah. Wow.
And I always say to Abantu, your first car is not your dream car. Give yourself a chance to grow. You don't stay in a car. A car is something that we use for traveling. You know, you can later reward yourself. But now they would start with these excess. It's worse when I was at BMW.
My favorite.
I used to, most of my clients were interns.
Yes.
Were doctor
Interns.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
Sure. Not even established in their careers, but they want the biggest, the baddest.
Yes. Interns, if you go to the hospital and you see big cars, just know that those are
Interns.
interns.
They still have to learn. Because, you know, they say you'll learn. Like, you'll find out one way or another.
A year later, they call me, hey, sister, you know this car? I'm like, dude, there's nothing I can do now.
Yeah.
Like, I did tell you that let's start with the cheaper option.
Yes.
I think people... It's social media. It's social media.
Pressure and
It's the
wanting
pressure.
validation.
Yes. Instant
Yeah.
gratification.
Hey.
That's the problem.
Yeah, no discipline. And I think, you know, these conversations are important because someone might be like, Lebo, want to talk about business, but this is leading up to that because all of this, you know, as an individual, we're multifaceted and so many things affect you. You could be, like I say, in business, making good money, but because of the wrong financial decisions, you end up in a worse off place than you were before you started.
Can I tell you that when I was selling cars, and another thing that delays a lot of car salespeople is the fact that these companies give us company cars.
Yeah.
Right? So when I was working at Audi, I would change. You can change your company car. When I was working at BMW, I could drive a BMW, but my finances were so bad. My social media was looking good. It was popping, but my finances were not good. 2022, like I had a worst year. That was my worst financial year. I had over 15 missed payments. I was advising people on how they could save and buy cars, yet I could not even afford to buy the cars that I was selling. And I knew there and there that something is wrong. I had people who came to me and say, Yo, Nkosazana, your TikTok advice has helped me. Now my score is good. I just bought a house.
Yes.
But I could not afford to buy a house. I could not afford to buy a car because of the financial mistakes that I'd also done. Also, when I was at BMW, I knew that, okay, this is a premium brand. There's a certain way I must look.
Yes.
I must have these weaves. I must buy these suits. Getting myself deeper into debt. So a lot of people who are in the financial space, they can give good financial advice, but sis, use that advice for yourself.
Yeah.
Use that advice for yourself. And I always say there's nothing wrong with downgrading. We always say to people, budget. I cannot over budget where there's no money.
Yeah.
The money is not there.
Yeah.
Then our message should change into make more money.
Yeah.
We can't keep telling people to budget
Exactly.
on what they do not have.
Yeah.
It's like me saying to you, this is how you need to build a house. You do not have the material.
Yeah.
The first step is me teaching you on how to make money to buy the material.
Yes.
Now, I cannot overemphasize the budgeting message.
Yes.
People do not have the money. Our country, there is such less opportunities
Yeah.
for jobs, and people need to now go out and think out of the box, create these opportunities for yourself, because our government has shown us that they're not willing and they're not going to.
And I think, sorry to cut you there, but I think also it's another expectation that the government has created, which is incorrect. Because the government's job is not to give us jobs. Their job is infrastructure, safety, making sure things work, so that when we governing, exactly, so that when the environment is right, that is when that environment gives rise to entrepreneurship, gives rise to, jobs being created. But their duty is to make sure that this environment is conducive for the population to do that. So I think we also as a population need to wake up and realize that they're not coming to save us. They lied. Like, that's just what it is. It's Freedom Day, they lied. Yeah. And that, we have an expectation from them that they actually cannot fulfill. And it's not their duty to fulfill. But I want to go back to something that you said, which is so powerful, to say you cannot overemphasize budgeting. If I have 30,000, that's all I have. It doesn't matter how many ways I cut it. At the end of the day, it's still going to be 30,000. So now you are in this job, you are with these premium brands, you are living life at this level, but your income is not matching up. What do you then do to decide?
I look rich.
You look rich. So how do you do it? Do you sell more cars? Do you, look outside of that? What was the answer, or what answers did you look for in order to get you out of that situation? And sorry also there, because there are a lot of people who look good on paper. They look good on the Instagram, on the TikTok, but the real life story is very different. And I want people to be able to bring those two worlds together to say, also, don't feel too bad that I look good. Do something about it. Yes. And you did something. What did you do?
Okay, can I tell you something? You're asking me, how do you then come out of that? Yeah. Do you sell more cars? The issue in the sales space is that the more cars you sell, the more tax you pay. Ooh. So it does not matter. The higher you go, the higher the tax. So either way, my problem was not getting solved.
Yeah.
So in 2024, I was going to church. It was my pastor's birthday, and we had a theme, traditional attire. And I went to Joburg downtown and I bought this traditional attire. And at that time, I didn't have followers. People always ask me, why do you say I should use TikTok? I don't have followers. What's the point? So this Sunday, I wear this Xhosa traditional attire. I post a video on my TikTok. I go to church. I don't have followers. I don't even care for checking comments, whatever. After church, I get busy with whatever. But the Monday, I'm like, let me open my TikTok and check up on my 50 followers. If I tell you, I woke up that day with over 100,000 followers.
What?
Yes. Over 100,000 followers. I had over 100, if not 200 DMs. I had over 2,000 comments on that one video.
Wow.
So when we tell people keep showing up, the algorithm will favor you one day. And if I tell you from that day, my life has never been the same. One TikTok post changed my life, because all these DMs I was getting, it's people saying, we want those things. Because now that was like the 20th of November. It's wedding season.
Yes.
Things are happening. Everyone was like, I want this, because I had put the price. And people like, there's no way. I'm in Cape Town. In Cape Town, it's expensive. I'm in Eastern Cape. If I tell you that Monday, I had to go back downtown and get those dresses.
Wow.
I had orders. By the Friday, I had gotten an assistant. When, people think it takes years for your life to flip. Your life can flip in a day. That same week, I had to get an assistant. That's how many orders we were getting.
Wow.
That video reached up to 3 million views. Wow. And people were buying. And I posted others like Imipago, I posted pinifers, I posted skirts. It just kept on going. I did not understand myself what was happening. It was like, I don't even know how to explain this. It was just an overflow.
Wow.
I got this assistant. We kept on sending out these things. It went on 2025. The demand just keeps on going. But here's one thing that was happening. I was getting exhausted. I didn't have systems. I was now getting orders wrong. I was tired. It was exhausting because a lot of businesses that we have, we don't have structure. We don't have systems. So I was getting burned out. Now my orders were late. We're mixing up orders. We're exhausted because this is a business I never planned. I didn't even know how to scale, but what I knew is that I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know, my house is full of lemipako. Like, it has taken over
Yeah,
my
it's
life.
chaos now.
I am on WhatsApp 24/7, and that's what a lot of people don't know. We don't know how to automate.
Yeah.
We don't know how to build systems.
Yes.
If I had then decided to build systems, it was gonna work.
Yes.
Then last year I decided on having a website and things get better. But now 2026, I knew that my daughter is going to school. My firstborn is going to high school. Yes, we're making the money, but now I'm going to need more money. What do I do? It's towards November, and I'm like, you know what? My business is a very seasonal business.
Yeah.
I need something that is sustainable. I need a business that I can build throughout the year that is not going to exhaust me. But one thing I knew is that I don't want inventory.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit in my house with stock.
Yeah.
I was online searching what business can I do where I can make a lot of money but not have to carry a lot of stock, where I don't have to carry the risk.
Yes.
Because now I was also tired. It complains this orders are wrong. You have to send another order. Orders get missing through the courier guy or Pexi. You know, you get a message, courier guy was hijacked. Now you lost all your parcels. You now have to resend those orders because your clients know nothing about that. It's not their
It's
business.
not their problem.
So I was like, I want a business, but I don't want to carry the risk.
Yes.
And one day I'm on TikTok. I'm live. This lady comes on TikTok and she tells me about network marketing. I have tried this before, but it didn't work out. I'm skeptical. But when she gives me the details, she's like, you only need about 610 to start. I'm like, what is 610? Even if I lose it,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cry. And I'm also looking at a business where if I invite you, Lebo, and I say to you, pay 600. Even if we meet again, that 600 won't make us fight.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But if I put you into something where you had to give like 10K or 20K, even at church now, we look at each other sideways. I was like, no, I don't want something that's very risky. When she said you can start with 610, I was like, sign me up. And I signed up the same night. One thing about me, I always do things when I'm motivated. Women like to delay when it comes to financial decisions.
Yes.
We like to delay till we lose the motivation and then we do not do the business again or whatever it is. So I was live around 11 p.m. I said to her, after this live, please do not sleep. I am signing up immediately. I know myself. In the morning, I would have changed my mind.
Yeah.
So please sign me up now. I will learn later.
Yes.
Because I knew that in the next 2 months, I need a serious step up. School fees, 2. Stationery, 2. School fees, 2. Registration fees, 2. I was like, no.
And mom one, parent
Yes,
one.
Parent 1.
Having to take care of both kids on your own. The responsibility is on you, which is a reality
Yeah.
for a lot of us that, you know, you are the one who has to take care of all of that. So you sign up and, you know, the iron is hot, you strike, then what
Like,
happens?
You know what? I signed up and I was so happy when I heard that even the company was closer to where I stay. In the morning, I go and take my stock. I am excited. You know, I always say to people, your attitude is what determines your success.
True.
So I was excited. I just felt like, oh my God, I've cracked the code. I'm going to make a lot of money. You know what? I don't know much about this company, but what I knew, my energy was right.
Yes.
My attitude is right. I went on TikTok. I shared. I am doing the lives. 10 p.m. I am live. Midnight, I am live. Back to what I said earlier, we want the things, but we don't want to put in the work.
True.
Jonga, I am excited. I am sharing. You know, I don't even understand the compensation plan, but I am going.
Yes.
You know, the most important thing is to move.
Yeah.
You know, even this compensation plan, I'm not even sure what it is, but I am working.
Yeah. You understood the important bits that were enough for you to make a decision.
Yes.
And you moved.
I am moving. And now end of November, because I signed up in the 1st of November. End of November, I'm cool. Remember, I don't really understand the complaint. So
Yes.
I'm not even sure exactly how much I'm going to be paid
Yes.
and all of that. 1st of December, I get a notification, 19,800.
What?
I'm like, I am now excited. I take this money and I go and buy school uniform.
Yes.
And after that, I come back on TikTok. Guys, this is what I got paid.
Yes.
I went and bought uniform for both my kids. I am excited. Now that I've seen my first salary, I am like,
Yes.
okay.
More fuel in the tank.
Yeah, now it's December. The company closes on the 15th of December. The momentum sort of goes down because now the company is closed and all of that. And
Getting product is a challenge and all of that.
Let me tell you something. I signed up under someone who is in KZN. We've never met. But one thing about me, I'm very independent. I told myself, I am not going to bother this lady. This is my business. I'm going to do everything. The learning, I went on YouTube. I learned network marketing, whatever. December, the company closes on the 15th. It's cool. 1st of Jan, I get paid almost the same, around 19,000. I'm so happy.
Yes.
I only worked 2 weeks and I got this. I'm happy. I took myself to Cape Town. You know,
Yes.
I was happy for that. And I took some of that and I bought the stationery. Now the company opens and now I'm confused because now there's a lot of videos. People are complaining, oh, this company is a scam. It's trash. The system, you know, and I'm putting out videos out there. There's a lot of people putting out videos saying this company is bad.
Yes.
Their service is bad and all of that. But only to find out by the time this company closed on the 15th, we had over 8,000 people who signed up.
Whoa.
Now, this was also a small company. And now the CEO as well, she was not ready for this.
Yes.
To her, she thought we closed, you know.
Yes.
We good.
Like now we're resting.
We resting.
Getting our energy up for the new year.
And now, 3rd of January, you are there. You have over 10,000 people you have signed up.
Yeah.
You had not prepared that stock. You were not ready for that growth.
Yeah.
And it happens. Those are growth pains.
Yes.
That's what people need to understand with any business. When you scale, you are going to have challenges.
Yes.
So now it's this social media thing where people are bashing the company and you're like, what do I do now? Do I continue or do I leave? But my why was big. My kids, I'm like, I'm going to push. January, I pushed and I got paid 42,000. I'm like, what?
Proof of concept is working, y'all.
It's working. While others are saying it's trash, I am working.
Yes.
The company moved to a bigger premise. They got a warehouse. It's popping. Things are happening. Yes, there's still that slowness of stock, but the why is bigger. Whether the stock is fast or slow, the why is still there.
Yes.
I still need to pay the fees. Because when I signed up in this company, I said, I don't want to have anything to do with my kids' school. Whether it's uniform, school fees, anything. I want this business to help me with that.
Yes.
And now February, I'm making 70K. I'm like, Lord, this thing is working.
Yes.
This thing is working. Like I said, I never depended on my upline.
Yes.
I took it up. And for someone who says network marketing only works for influencers, it only works with people with a lot of followers. My upline, she's so shy. She was not even active on social media that much. I actually joined and hyped her. And be like, girl, let's push.
Yes.
Now she also started... We are going to Dubai now this coming weekend. She's also going. Is she an influencer? No. Does she have more than 10,000 followers? No. Does she have more than 5,000 followers? No. We have to work. Show up for your business.
Yes.
And now, end of March, I am earning 90,000. I'm only 5 months with this business.
Wow.
I'm only 5 months with this business and I got paid over 90K. They call me, they're like, on the 2nd of May, there's a recognition, what, because we're going to Dubai on the 3rd of May. You are going to be recognized 5 months.
Yes.
What is being recognized? My work.
Yes.
Not me waking up and complaining. I always say you cannot be a complainer and a winner at the same time. And now I find myself being able to afford the things that I want. I don't look forward to month end because I know that whether we get paid or not, I am sorted. So with with everyone else, you can either sit at home and feel like network marketing is a scam. This is a scam that's making billions of dollars.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
People, I am paying my children's school fees with this scam. It's paying for my car now. I am able to afford my rent. I am able to afford things that I want. I'm going to Dubai. I manage to shop, do everything that I want. Every opportunity, it's your attitude that determines how the output that you
Very
get.
true, very true. And let's talk about those challenges, because sometimes people think that network marketing does not experience the challenges that business experiences. And yet you spoke about that to say, a new company, when you have a lot of growth, scaling up can be a challenge, but they rose to the occasion, regardless of that. But now for you as a distributor versus somebody who owns the company, let's speak about the risk, because the company had to bear that risk. They had to bear the troubles. And that's what you were speaking about earlier, that you wanted a business that you wouldn't have to take on the risk.
Yeah.
The risk is there, but it's not on your shoulders. You don't have to put out, the finances. You don't have to deal with 8,000
I didn't need the
customers.
capital to start the business. I don't need an office.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was perfect. And can I tell you something? My plan for 2026 was to be an available parent. I wanted to be there for my kids. Since I was in grade 1 till matric, I've never had my mom drop me off at school. I've never had my mom fetch me from school.
Yeah.
Like since I started my grade 1 till matric,
Yes.
I've never had my mom drop me at school.
Yeah.
I've never had my mom pick me up from school. My dad only came to my school when he got a call that I am sick. Maybe he must come and fetch me.
Yes.
But being a mom that's able to drop off my kids every day,
Yeah.
for me, it's big.
Yeah, it's massive.
And let me tell you, I also had a few attitude challenges with my daughter the past year. And now that I am available, I'm home. When they come from school, I fetch them, I'm home. There's so much harmony.
Yes.
I think sometimes our kids want us. We think our kids want the money. Our kids want their parents. They want you to be home. They want their mom to be there.
Yes.
Like on Saturday, I went out to do my microblading and it was around 8 o'clock. It was for the first time. I'm not home at 8. Yeah. They were calling me like, where are you?
Yes.
Because they are used to the unit that we have now.
Yes.
So another thing that we do not know is that having money is going to build your family.
Yes.
Because now you are able to outsource things that needed your time.
Yes.
I'm not in Joburg looking for stock the whole day. I'm not on my phone dealing with complaints the whole day, because now with network marketing, they carry the risk.
Yes.
If there's anything, stock, whatever, go to the CEO, go
Yes.
to the company.
To the company. They've got the
Yes.
systems, they've got the structures,
exactly.
and they will take care of that. And you as a distributor, you build your part. You do, the management of your team, taking out the right information, because, you're also playing your part, but it doesn't require as much. And so would you say that that's the perfect business, especially for moms, where you've got kids, you've got other responsibilities, maybe somebody who's still working a 9 to 5 or running another business? How does running a network marketing business fit in to somebody's lifestyle in that way?
One thing I love about network marketing is the automation. I am here speaking to you, but my back office, there's movement. People are signing up, because once you've shared your link, people are signing up. I don't have to be in it every day. If you're working your 9 to 5, all you need is 10 minutes during your tea break or whatever. Put out a video out there, put a message on Facebook, send a few messages to people and relax. Those people will come and sign up. I always say, attend the trainings. If some people say, I'm shy, I don't know, it's fine. You can be shy and do network marketing. All you have to do, invite people to training. Invite people to training. You don't need to know how to speak. You don't need good English. You don't need whatever.
Yes.
Just invite your prospects to the training. Network marketing, man, it's such a liberator. And I always says it has come to neutralize. Now the rich, the poorest of the poorest,
Yes.
can now become rich.
Yes, very true.
There is you don't need a connection. You don't need, I don't know, the obstacles that people put out there for themselves. Those things don't exist. Network marketing has come to, cancel all those things. The Bible says when Jesus was on the cross, the veil got torn.
Yeah.
That's exactly what network marketing has come to do. It has come to tear the veil between poverty and wealth.
Yes.
Because now all of us can enter.
That's correct.
All of us who had nothing growing up can now live a comfortable life.
Yes. And now, the what kind, what do you see yourself, what do you see for yourself in the future? Now that you've started this network marketing journey, knowing what you know from working, in sales, in dealerships, being around, premium brands, big cars, big money, but not being able to match up with your salary, having that experience, and now being in network marketing, what would you say to somebody who's in their job? Who was you a few years ago? You're in your job, but you can't afford to buy the cars that you're selling. If anything, if the harder you work, the more you're going to get taxed. If you want to start a business from the ground up on your own, it's all on you. You take on all the risk. Why should somebody consider network marketing? We've said so much, but speaking directly to that person, what is it that should make them consider it? We're not trying to convince anybody, but just to say, look at this, and this is what can help you make a decision.
Financial freedom. Owning your time, okay? One thing I realized when I was working is that the pain to pain ratio didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I put in so much work for such a salary. But with network marketing, it's effort based and it pays your effort. You put in this effort, you get such a payment. And another thing is that you do not have to have a capital. They don't require anything from you. If you can sacrifice 1,000 rand, 600 rand, if it's product based, you sell those products and still make 100% profit just from those products. There's no loss.
Yes.
What I can say when it comes to network marketing, because if you're in a product based one and you feel like, okay, I've sold the products and I don't like it, you didn't lose. Your money came back double at the end of the day. So give network marketing a chance. It will grow you. I feel like I have matured so much since I started network marketing because I have grown, and that growth didn't cost me.
Yeah.
It cost someone else's company.
Yes.
Everything I am learning in someone else's expense. Because even if there was a mistake, it's not my mistake to fix.
Yes.
It will grow you as an entrepreneur. And let me tell you, once you master network marketing, you can master anything.
True.
I always use this verse, 2 Timothy 2 verse 2. It says, everything that you have heard me say, go and entrust it upon those who can go and say it as well.
Yes.
So it's a duplication thing.
Yes.
If you can master network marketing, you can become an evangelist. You can start your own business because you have learned the basics of any business: scaling, duplicating.
And that's so important because it really is, I think it's like Robert Kiyosaki says, he says it's the business of the 21st century. It's the best place for any entrepreneur to learn. He says, even if your goal is not to make money with the company, sign up for the lessons that being in that company is going to teach you, from the sales to the mindset to, how to conduct. You learn so much on the job. And it's not like a syllabus where we say, day one, you're going to learn this, day two. You look back and you check and you say, wow, the growth has been immense. I mean, look at you, 5 months in.
5 months.
And you're already a professional in your industry, doing what you do, being in that, owning your own business from corporate, and yet there's still room for growth.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter whether you are coming with tons of experience or you're a newbie. You're new, you maybe a fresh graduate, you haven't got lots of real world experience, you can still learn on the job. And while you are learning, the best part is that you're earning.
Yeah, and everyone can succeed in this business. Whether you're a single mother, whether you're a single father, whether you're coming from a poor background, it does not discriminate. It does not discriminate.
It's the great equalizer.
Yeah.
Like you said, it came and the veil is torn. And
Yes.
now there's no barrier.
There's
The
no-
the barriers of entry have been removed, so anybody can get started. And with that, Nkosazana, to somebody who's now watching and saying, wow, I think I can do this. I think I'm encouraged, especially to the single moms, because let's be real, it's tough out there. The current economic climate it's the pits. for somebody who's still looking at traditional ways of making money. But, there's a famous quote that says it's the worst of times, but it's also the best of times, because these can literally be the best of times if you choose to choose differently. If you choose that I'm not going to wait for a job. I'm not going to wait for someone to say, you can have a promotion, you can have an increase. I'm going to go out, I'm going to be responsible. And you said it, I'm going to do the work. Not come on board, but sit back and relax. I'm actually going to do the work that's going to give me the results that I want. So parting words to our audience, what you want somebody to take away from this discussion. We've spoken about so much. We've spoken about why people should consider network marketing, but parting words, what do you want to leave with somebody? The one thing that you would like them to carry with them from this conversation?
I've realized that a lot of things that I have suffered, I played part. Okay? I played part. And a lot of things that went well in my life, I have played part. Stop waiting for people to come and do anything for you. The world does not owe you anything. Okay? I'm a single mom. I could have sat there and buried myself in my sorrow. But I looked at my kids and I said, they deserve better. At any point of your life, you can make a U-turn. At any point of your life, you can decide. I want people to know that you have the power to decide how long you stay in the fire, how long you stay in poverty, and take that decision. Do not be scared of being seen trying. A lot of us, we want to appear as though we have made it.
Yeah.
We do not want to be seen trying. We do not want the beginning stages. It's too shameful. Once you pass that shame stage, trust me, the only thing that's waiting for you on the other side is success. Your fear of being seen is holding you back. We are in a generation where attention is the currency.
Yes.
Go out and be seen. Advertise your work. If you're a singer, take that mic, take that camera, sing in front of the camera. Social media has come to change people's lives. Take advantage of it. I think that's what I want to say. Take advantage of social media because, what are you scared of? I normally ask myself, Kuti, is it more shameful for me to be seen selling or is it more shameful for me to be seen poor?
And for my children to see me poor and to experience that poverty and for them to not have the things that they need. Which one is more shameful?
Which one is more shameful? I'd rather take the shame of being seen trying and selling.
And there's absolutely no shame in that.
That shame is rewarding.
Yes.
That shame has made me debt-free. So choose your shame.
And Nkosazana, in our parting shots, I also want us, you touched on something when we're having a conversation to say, for believers, because I know that there's so many people who are believing, Lord, please, can I, Kikupa, and they're on their knees. But where should they be? What should people who are believing for something great, they're believing for the miracle, they're believing for the breakthrough, what is the missing link?
2 Kings chapter 4, there's a widow who is in debt. She goes to the prophet. She says to the prophet, my husband passed away. I have children and I'm in debt. These debtors want to take my children. The prophet says to her, go to your neighbors, borrow vessels, take your oil, put it in the vessels, go and sell the oil, pay off your debts. And the prophet continues to say, you and your children can live off what is left. Christians must know that you can pray 40 days, 40 nights. When you come back, your landlord will be waiting. Your car installment will still be waiting. Your children will still need to eat physical food. Even Jesus himself had times where he was praying, and he also had times where he said to the disciples, go and fetch the money, because what we are facing now, we need to pay Caesar. It does not need prayer. As Christians, we need to come out of the habit of thinking that prayer alone is going to make our problems go away. Because prayer, the Bible says, faith without works is dead. You pray, faith, and you go out. The Bible says, I will bless the work of your hands. What is it that you are presenting to God? When you go to church on Sunday, when you pray in the morning at your house, what is it that you are presenting to God? What do you want God to bless? because God is not going to come into our house and, money is just going to fall off. Even in the days when God was giving out free manna, when the children of Israelites were in the desert, they had to go out and pick up the manna. The manna never fell into their houses. My message goes heavily to Christians. We are making people to look down on our faith because we present it as poverty. Anytime you speak prosperity with Christians, they think you are ungodly. But even the Bible says, I wish that as your soul prospers, that you will also prosper. As children of God, prosperity is our birthright. So go out there and work. Pray and please, Mzalwane, pray and work.
Yes.
Don't pray and pray and pray and not work, because that's not what the word of God encourages.
And we'll throw a span in there to say, even if you don't pray and work, God will still bless the work, because that's something we're also not ready to hear. We say, why are other people blessed? It's a principle. The principle is what brings the blessing, but the prayer brings the grace and the favor and, the open door, so that when you do the work, it will land where it's supposed to land. You die. And so here we're saying, that is an amazing, amazing message. And, you have the power. Attention is the currency, and you have the power to decide. You see, I love that one. You have the power to decide. And the fact that both, whichever way your life goes, I always say, where you are is a result of the decisions you made in the past. It's not a mistake. It's not bad luck. It's your decisions that got you here, and you can still make decisions that will get you to a different place.
One lady said to me last week, Nkosazana, I've sold my wig on Marketplace to be able to sign up. And I told her, you are going far.
Very.
You are going very far with this business. A lot of people think for me to start, people must push me. What are you sacrificing?
Yeah.
She said, I sold my wig so that I can have money to start up.
Yes. And that wig, you wear it, then what? But now you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your business, you're getting product, and you're able to start. And folks, that is why this podcast is called Rise of the Modern Moguls, because you can rise from anything. No situation is too bad. No situation is too glorious also to say, I've made it. You can still do more. You're sitting in your corner office. You've got that corporate job. It's not the end. It's not the end all and be all of everything. You can still rise further. And so thank you so much, Nkosazana, for being with us here today. And, for this relationship that is now established and that is going to be growing. And I'm grateful that you reached out and you invited yourself. And, it's a win-win. And I think the audience will definitely glean a lot of wisdom from what you have shared. Thank you for being so open and for sharing with us. We really appreciate your time, and we wish you all the best. And all her details will be in the description. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, share, comment, engage, subscribe, ask us all the questions. We are here for that. So thank you so much, folks. Catch you next week.